Hi friends, it's Sam here today, and I'm going to do a quick little get ready with me type of situation because I'm going to film my ranking my eyeshadow palettes video next. I've been kind of dreading and like stretching this whole having to do that video out for a long time now, but I think I got it all situated. So yeah, let's just do a little get ready with me so I can get ready to film that. I am going to use products from my Shop My Stash because I am trying to just like use the stuff that I don't always use, and so I'm not going to use a palette from that ranking because yeah. So let's get started. What do I want to use first? All right, so we're going to go on my No Problem primer. It is the last day from school vacation for the kids. So we will go back to normalcy tomorrow. Oh, hi, if you're new to my channel, my name's Sam. I do a lot of makeup reviews, eyeshadow palette reviews. If you are new and this is the first video you're seeing, hit the subscribe button so you can come back to see regularly not scheduled content. But yeah, this is the last day of school break and I'm excited for the kids to go back. I want my routine to get a little bit more normal again. It's been nice taking time from work, but it's so much work to be home with the kids too. I don't know how like full-time stay-at-home moms do it. Although like their time in school is a little bit of a break because my kids are older. Like when they were little, I can't imagine doing that. But we're gonna use the It Cosmetics foundation. It is the Your Skin But Better in Tan Neutral 42, and I really wanted to use this today because I did film a review of the new Mario Surreal Skin Foundation, and I want you guys to kind of see like the difference. And it's just funny that this was like actually in my Shop My Stash. So, and I feel like this is something that I think is comparable and to me better. So yeah, the kids go back to school tomorrow, which is nice. It's just hard when the kids are home. You're trying to keep them entertained and you're low-key just want to like stay home and do nothing. I had to catch up on lots of laundry, and I work from home, but like I have to work during the day, so it's like I can try to sneak away a few minutes here and put a load in, and try to do stuff during the work day, but like at the end of the day, sometimes it's real busy and you don't have a few minutes to spare to even do that. And ultimately, I'm being paid to work, not to fool around. I take that seriously. So I love this foundation. And I got these two lovely friends this week. I never break out in between my brows, but you know what's the thing I just realized too? I usually wax my own eyebrows. And for the holiday, being a rush going out, I just tweezed them. And I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. So that was one pump. I think I'm going to do another pump, like a half a pump. I just want a little bit more coverage, like right here in the cheek area. Also, like I thrive on routine. And having the kids home and not having like a routine for the vacation week throws me off quite a bit. So I'm excited to just like get back to my normal, what time I get up, what time I have my coffee, what time I do all the things. And I didn't take the whole week off that they were off. I took like most of it. I just worked 2 days, the Tuesday and Wednesday, because I work in the hospital and I'm not on the inpatient side where like patients are on the floors or, you know, inpatient or in the emergency room. So we are not open on like holidays or whatever, and they gave us like the Mondays off to observe the holiday, which was nice. So I had the Mondays already off, so I only ended up working 2 days during the school break, which was really nice. But it's hard working when the kids are home, but at the same time, when they like most of the days the kids didn't even want to go anywhere and do anything, and that was kind of nice because we just saved a little bit of money. But it's just still a lot because they want to hang out, they want to do stuff with you, which is fine. But it's exhausting when you're trying to please everybody, and my kids are not all the same age, so they are not into the same things. And that is the Rare Beauty Concealer in 330W, in case anybody is curious. Because it's so cold here too, sometimes when it's like we really need to get out of the house, it's last minute, and like the kids are just driving us bonkers because we're getting stir crazy. We'll go to a huge mall that's like 45 minutes from here, and it's nice having the little bit of a drive to just kind of like get out, see what outside, what's going on outside and everything like that. But at the same time, when we get there, it's a huge mall, so it takes like over an hour to walk around, and there is like a little play area, although recently we haven't stopped there to like actually let the kids play, but just like walk around, see what's out there. And we don't do a lot of shopping, but like you get tired of doing the same things all the time. And even like we have a membership to the New England Aquarium. I'm gonna use my essence powder. We were like, we can go to the aquarium. We have a couple memberships. If you have bigger families, definitely look into memberships. The last 2 years where we started doing that, we didn't realize like how much money we've been spending the last freaking 10 years not doing memberships. If you take the kids to any kind of like museum, science museum, kids museums, aquariums, we have about like 30 minutes from us, maybe a little bit more, like 35 minutes from us, there's like a Old Sturbridge Village. And I love going to that place, not just like the kids, but I love it. And they have like old timey stuff there. We go there a lot when the kids were little, and sometimes we'd be like, it's so expensive paying for 5 people to go, blah blah blah, and sometimes we wouldn't go. And like 2 years ago we realized like, oh, if you get a membership, we're just paying like for a 6th person one time, and then we can come unlimited. So like, why haven't we thought to do that? So we have lots of memberships to places, but like even the aquarium, I love going to the aquarium. My husband loves the aquarium. My oldest was like, I don't want to go to the aquarium, nothing ever changes. We're gonna use the Maybelline City Bronzer. So the kids were just tired of going and running around, honestly, so they wanted to stay home. So we were like, okay, let's just stay home. But staying home is still a lot of work with them. Like, it's fun doing activities with the kids, but I'll tell you, like, the moment they wake up, they're like, let's do a puzzle, let's do this. You don't have any friggin' time for your goddamn self. You're like, let me go to the bathroom. And then you just sit in the bathroom, even when you're not actually going to the bathroom, just so you can have a break. And you know when you get out, they're going to be like sitting in your bed with their tablet in their hand and their headphones on their head. And it's like, I appreciate you want to hang out with mommy, but mommy needs a break, daddy needs a break. My son has like, he's really into like engineering stuff. He's 9, and he's definitely your classic ADHD kid where he's just like hyper focused on things that he loves. And he got a lot of like STEM stuff for Christmas, and he literally one of the days built stuff for 7 hours straight, and then he was super pissed off at us when we were like, you need to take a break, bro, because he kept having like, you know, breakdowns every time he get frustrated, like a certain piece wouldn't go in the way he wanted or whatever, like he snapped the wrong piece into the other wrong piece or whatever, like putting things together and getting frustrated. My husband like doesn't get a break, because then he's like, daddy, I want you to sit here and do the whole thing with me. But my son is like so hyper focused, he could sit there all day long, and my husband's like, after an hour, he's like, I need a break, bro. But my son doesn't get that. So the challenges of being parents and like being stuck at home. I know not everybody gives a shit about my kids, and like going on YouTube is escape from their own, but I'm sure some of you guys can relate. An oldie but a goodie. I haven't used that in ages, and it's gorgeous, and I'm like, why haven't I used this? Always reaching for the new. All right, for blush, we're gonna go into this Laura Geller one. This is the Tropic Hue, right? Is that what that is? Yeah, really dig in there, get something. I feel like this is like that same Hourglass kind of vibe where it's just very subtle. And that's pretty, but by the time I build it up, I'm feeling like my skin looks a little bit powdery, even though it does look nice. Yeah, I'm not loving this. Maybe this is due to get decluttered. It's better for somebody, I think, for lighter skin, because then you don't have to like build it up so much. I could stop right there, but I do want a little bit more color than that. Yeah, this is like the second time I've used this since I put it in my Shop My Stash, and I'm not like, I love the color, but I do have to build it up quite a bit, and that's not ideal. Yeah, and it just looks powdery, so I think that is gonna go in my declutter bin. My sister came to visit on Christmas Day, and she was like, no makeup for me. I was like, not yet. I haven't like really decluttered too much, and when I have 2 daughters now that like literally rummage through my makeup. Even my 7-year-old, and I know people are in the comments are going to be like, 7-year-old shouldn't be wearing no. But listen, my daughter loves makeup, and I'm not going to tell her no. You guys are here because you love makeup too. And I try to be cautious of what makeup I give her, but sometimes she just takes, even when I'm using, like I think the other day I used my Huda Beauty Naughty palette and she liked it so much, and then literally the next morning I found it in her room, and she takes good care of it. Thank God it wasn't broken or anything like that. But she was like, oh, I wanted the pink shade in there. So like, it is what it is. And I've had conversations with my daughter about like, why do you like to wear makeup, Audie? Because, you know, like, I want to make sure I'm not sending like the wrong message to her. And she literally says like, because it's like a mask of showing your different personalities. And I'm like, that is why you wear makeup. So at least I'm sending her the right messages on it anyway. I'm gonna put some setting spray just because that blush looks a little powdery. But you see the highlight? That's the Ciate London one. I don't know if they still have. This is the confetti highlighter. Beautiful. But yeah, my sister was asking about makeup, and I'm like, your nieces keep taking all my stuff. I get like this basket and I put stuff in it throughout the year that I don't really want. I'm not like one of these like mass declutter people. And yeah, her nieces just take everything before I get a chance to even give it to her. So she was kind of like, oh, but maybe I'll have to hide some stuff to the side just for her. And then I wanted to use this because I actually just put this in my shop, my stash. And this morning I was on freaking Instagram, and they've decided that they're going to close up shop. So this is, it says Muse Beauty because they used to be Muse Beauty, and then they changed their name to Kai Love. I think that's what it's called. Beauty. They rebranded last year, and now they are going out of business, which is crazy. I think they're just like, I think the owners mentioned in the post that they both work full time and blah, blah, blah. It was getting a little difficult to kind of juggle everything, which is understandable, but it's still sad. So I want to go into this brown, like orange color called Cottage. Oh, I didn't even put eyeshadow primer. I have lots of anxiety too. So like being home for 5 days, not working and stuff, like it puts me in this rut where I like want to sleep in every day, and then if I sleep in every day I feel like hot garbage, and then I don't know, like not having things to do is not a good thing for me, although it's good to have that respite. So I think 5 days is pretty much my max for that. Like I really need to get back into the groove of like logging into work in the morning and, you know, going through my routine. It's not good to like not have a actual schedule. I think I feel that way. I know some people like to like do their own thing and like they work better like spontaneous or whatever. That ain't me. Personally, I feel like, especially with kids, they thrive off of routine. If a kid finds like any inconsistency in a routine, they will take full advantage, and then it's very hard to get back on routine, especially like my kids. My husband, when we first met, part of the reason why I fell in love with him is because he's opposite of me. We're both Libras, but he's like the more spontaneous one. He likes to like just go do random things, and very much the opposite of me. We balance each other out. And he used to be anti-routine. And for a lot of years, we used to argue because he is a videographer. So there was like a lot of years where he kind of was home during the week. He worked weekends doing weddings and random events, and then, you know, during the week he was like home editing and stuff like that. Don't ask if he edits for me, because he will not. He's like, nope, I'm done with that life. But anyway, he used to be home with the kids, and like his mom would come and help us a lot, but he was mostly home, and he had no routine with the kids. No routine. When they were hungry, he would feed them, whatever. Like, he just kind of did things by the seat of his pants. And I used to get so frustrated because I was working outside the house, so I'd come home and, like, me being anal, like, things weren't done my way. Oh my goodness, we used to fight so much. And then over the years, he's kind of come around to being like, no, the kids need a schedule. So it's nice that we kind of both are on that page now. But it took years. It took years to get there, man. He's as stubborn as I am patient. So, and then now I want to go in this navy blue shade called Night. I will say, you know, as sad as it is to see a brand go out of business, if like you're somebody that's tight on money and you've been wanting to try certain things, I guess it's a good time to like pick up stuff. It sucks for that brand, but I feel like just as oversaturated as beauty content creators are right now with like TikTok and Instagram and everything, and everybody is posting everywhere, that it makes it so friggin' easy to make, like, especially with like shorts or reels or TikToks, whatever you want to call it, but like they're so easy to make something really short and then just upload it to every single platform that there's too many content creators. There's also too many indie brands doing like the same thing. I think it's great to have that people are able to start small businesses and stuff like that, but it is a tough industry to like really differentiate yourselves from other brands, and then also to get that cult following that you need to be able to like survive recessions, because we're clearly in a recession right now. So it's like, all right, I think we're gonna go in with this shade here in the center called Terrace. I think it's so funny when I look at my palette sometimes and I'm like, I've clearly used this. Well, to me, I've clearly used this. And then I look at it and I'm like, you know, somebody else uses their palette one time and I see their video and I'm like, they are like digging in, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm like just very light-handed or if they're aggressive, or like does it take that much for them to do a look? I don't know. I just think it's funny. Like, sometimes I look at my palettes and I'm like, it should look more used than it does. It is what it is. I feel like, you know what it is, that all my palettes, I treat them like they're precious, and they're like, they need to like stay pristine even though I'm tempted and I want to use them. And then I get disappointed in myself when they look unused. All right, and then I want to take this lime yellow shade called Starlight and put that in the inner corner. Do we want to do the under eye? I'll do the under eye. I don't always love it because my eyes are so small that I feel like it makes them look even smaller, but we'll do it anyway, just to make the look finished. I feel like I had taken Night under the lower lash line. I'm going to take a little bit of Cypress, which is the green. All right, the eye look is finished, so let's do our eyebrows. And I'm trying to use this Hourglass one. This, I feel like, is a brow product I've been trying to get rid of for a century. I just don't like it, so then I go in and out of using it because I get miserable after a while. It's just so creamy that it's like, it gets everywhere. I like how easy it is to like fill it in, but if I try to brush it out, it's very smudgy. So we try to do, you know what? I forgot. I lost track of what I was saying earlier, but basically we were looking for something to do that wasn't the same old, and we ended up looking at, like the local Salvation Army, because I was like, you know what? We need to get a dresser for the girls' room, and I don't know. I wasn't finding anything online that I necessarily loved, and furniture is so crazy expensive right now. And honestly, the girls, we've changed their rooms so many times in like the last couple of years, just because my oldest is now a teenager. Her clothes are larger. I had to get her like adult hangers, and even the baby is not a baby anymore. She's 7, so I got junior hangers for her. Then we changed their wardrobes around, and this past summer we got them bunk beds, because they just both have desks in the room and everything. It just got like very tight with the desk and everything like that, the additional desk. Because they used to just have like one table in the room that they both would do art and stuff on, but then the big one got a desk, and then the little one didn't have a place to do her stuff. So whatever, we've changed our rooms a ton. So I don't want to get like a super extravagant dresser only to find that it doesn't work, because when my oldest was younger, we got her like a really beautiful bed set, very expensive. My mom got it for her as like a gift. It was just like, it was expensive. I wouldn't have gotten it if we were paying for it, because I knew like kids grow out of stuff, but my mom was spoiling her, and it was gorgeous, but the drawers were not, they were just so shallow. It was clearly for like small children, and once she was like 5, we couldn't fit anything in those drawers anymore. So it was clear, like, you know, they grow out of furniture too, not just clothing. So one of them uses like a wardrobe that we got at IKEA when she was little, those 7-year-olds. And that still functions for her. But like we had like a smaller little like nightstand drawer situation for like pajamas and stuff like that now, because she's kind of growing out of the armoire, the wardrobe, I mean. But I'm like, maybe we should just get like one dresser for the two of them to share, half and half or something like that. So I don't know. Everything is so expensive, and I don't know how permanent this furniture choice will definitely be for them. And so I'm like, let's go see what like Salvation Army has. We didn't find actually any furniture there. When we went, we ended up just like kind of walking around, and we looked at all the kinds of stuff that they have, and it was like kind of fun for me, because when I was a kid, I grew up in the projects, and I don't know if they had this store all over the country, if it was just here, but we had a store called Ames, which was essentially kind of like a Walmart of its time. And the only places that we could afford to shop was either Ames or secondhand. And even secondhand, sometimes we would go to like not necessarily like Salvation Army, but like churches. Back in the day, there were like a lot of churches you could go to, and like in the basement levels or whatever, they would kind of do their own like secondhand little stores. And I remember like specifically 2 churches we would go to, and like everything was really inexpensive. Clearly it was all donated, and the funds went to the church. So my mom would do a lot of shopping like that. And I used to get a lot of what I called hand-me-ups, because I had younger cousins, but they were always bigger than me. I was always like a very tiny kid, and so a lot of times they would pass clothes up to me. So it was kind of fun to like do that and look around. I ended up getting a couple sweaters, and it was fun. I feel like I told the kids we should do that more often. Like, we're always donating our clothes, but like we don't always need to shop like the new, especially because they grow out of everything so quickly. And personally, I know like you guys see me do a lot of reviews, and I obviously purchase a lot of makeup, but I don't know if any of you guys are from when I first started my channel. I first started it as like a cleaning channel, and I used to talk a lot about like being intentional and all of that, and I do not buy new clothes. Like, barely ever do I buy myself new clothing because I don't know, I just find it fine to like kind of wear the same things all of the time. So I actually don't have that many clothes. I probably have, I wouldn't call myself like a minimalist by any means. I probably have like 150 pieces of clothing, which sounds like a lot of clothes when you say 150, but like you're talking pants, t-shirts, tank tops, leggings, pajamas, sweaters, dress clothes when I used to work into the office, like a lot of different types of clothing. And even now, I don't even wear half of those clothes. So like part of me definitely needs to do a deep dive because I don't work in an office anymore. But oh, this is the final look now. But yeah, I don't work in an office anymore, so I have a ton of stuff that I really don't wear, and I might keep some of it because like if I have a date night, it's kind of a crossover piece or whatever. But honestly, I don't have that many clothing, so it's like, why am I not just shopping secondhand? Because I don't need to have new. And my kids actually loved going to the Salvation Army. My 13-year-old was all about it. And I'm like, this is just like a better way of shopping, because otherwise all this stuff just sits here if people aren't here to purchase it. And they had so many sweatshirts with cute little things on it. Everything was great condition. And I'm like, when you buy from Salvation Army or any kind of secondhand stores, like I'm like, that money is going to a good place. Also, you're saving money. Also, you're not out there like buying new stuff to just then put it back through the cycle. I don't know. I just felt like, oh, you know, this is like really nice. So that was like a fun thing that we did. And my son actually found like a couple toys that we had seen out before that he had kind of mentioned to my husband that he wanted, that I was unaware of because I do the Christmas shopping, and he should have told me. But anyway, it was kind of good because one of the things he was like, babe, this was $50 when we were at the whatever store, and he asked for it, and look, they have it here for $6.99. I was like, oh. And he picked it up. It had every single piece in it. Like, he loved it. So yeah, I was like, oh, we'll definitely have to do this again. Like, this was nice to like get out of the house and do something kind of different than like going to the mall or going to the aquarium or going whatever. And like, especially if we're going to shop for clothes anyway, if they're growing out of things, I'm like, maybe we should. I mean, a lot of times with my youngest, she gets a lot of secondhand stuff, not from like a place like that, but like we have friends who will just be like, hey, I have tons of clothes for my daughter, I'll drop them off. But my son, we tend to buy his stuff new because I don't have any friends that have sons that are close to my kid's age. So I don't get any like hand-me-downs for him or anything like that. But he also like wears the same thing over and over and over again. He has very particular preferences about like the textures of clothes, the way it feels on his skin, like the sizing of things. He doesn't like anything too tight. He doesn't like, you know, so for that reason, like if he finds something that he likes, he'll just wear it out. And if I buy him something new, he does not care. He'll just keep wearing whatever out. So yeah, that was like a fun thing. I definitely am starting to think about like the New Year's and resolutions like everybody out there is doing. I definitely don't want to be like pinholing myself into a certain thing, because that always ends up leading me to be kind of like disappointed for one reason or another later on, because I'm not very good about keeping resolutions, but I am considering it. I do want to put like some kind of guidelines or like ideas down of what I want, even for my channel and like my purchasing habits, because even though it's like sometimes I tell myself like, oh, it's okay that I spend a lot of money on makeup, because I honestly don't buy any shoes. I don't buy any clothes. I don't buy like lots of hair products. I don't like toiletries, like all that like self-care stuff. I don't do. I get what I need, like, and that's about it. And that's kind of just the way I am. I don't even go to the salon to cut my hair. I cut my own hair, and like I don't get my nails done. I have like press-ons every once in a while, and even then, like, they don't last. My nails are all jacked right now because I tried to do press-ons for Christmas and they lasted like 2 days before I myself started ripping them off because they were driving me nuts. So it's like, yeah, I try to like tell myself like, oh, it's okay that I spend a lot of money on makeup because I don't spend it in these other areas, but ultimately, like, it would just be nice if I didn't spend money on heavily on anything in general, just because also I do feel like, I don't know, I don't feel, there's the collector in me that's like, I don't feel bad about buying things because I like having it, but there's also like a part of me that's like, do I really need it? Because I have been like in the whole like ranking my eyeshadow palettes and going through the purchases that I've made through the year for eyeshadow in particular, I'm like, I have some regrets in like, this is not a bad palette, this is not something that I hate, but it's also like something I probably am not going to reach for ever again, and like, why the hell did I freaking buy this? So I do need to like think about those kind of things. But let me know what you guys did over this vacation in the comments. I'd love to know, like, what do you do with your kids or your family that's a little different, because, you know, right around the corner will be February vacation. We're gonna be stuck home with the kids again. And then also, like, what are your New Year's resolutions? I'm really curious, because maybe I do need to like be a little bit more conscious about the choices that I'm making within the next year. You know, I'd like to try to improve myself. You know, there's always room for self-growth. So yeah, let me know. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll see you guys soon with this palette ranking. Bye.